Thank you, Sam. Next up, Cherie Cruz, co-founder of the formerly incarcerated Union of Rhode Island, who has been a leader in this fight. Thank you, Cherie.
Thank you. And any legalization legislation created must ensure that the past and future harms of criminalization of cannabis endured by tens of thousands of Rhode Islanders are repaired. In order to equitably do so, we must include automatic expungement of all cannabis-related offenses and create a strong social equity program that intentionally includes those who have been directly impacted and criminalized by this failed war on drugs. We've seen these collateral consequences of criminalization of cannabis has impacted Rhode Islanders for decades, including barriers to employment and housing, and ultimately has negatively impacted the overall economic health of our state. It's time we correct these illogical policies and create a climate and structure here in Rhode Island where everyone has an opportunity to own, work, and thrive in a legal cannabis market. With recent studies have shown that nationally, unemployment rates for people who have been formerly incarcerated, particularly for drug-related offenses, are at a rate of over 27% higher than the total U.S. unemployment rate during any historical period in our country's history. These types of perpetual labor market punishments have created a counterproductive system that is financially hurting everyone, employers, taxpayers, and thousands of directly impacted Rhode Islanders. That's why we must provide automatic expungement and remove the burden from those with limited resources. Any legislation has to go further than waiving a fee. We have already suffered from harsh criminalization and penalties and cannot afford to be punished any further. The state legislature, with the stroke of a pen, has the opportunity now to demonstrate its care for the people of Rhode Island and lift that burden and provide that automatic expungement. We see this cannabis legislation as a unique opportunity to create tangible pathways to employment and ownership in the legal cannabis market, particularly for those who pay the ultimate price of past cannabis-related actions. Again, this is particularly important now that we are proposing that select Rhode Islanders can now benefit and prosper from the same acts that have produced such negative outcomes for so many Rhode Islanders. We need to level the playing field for those most harmed. We cannot afford, as a state, to create another Rhode Island brain drain that we have seen in so many other areas of business. These Rhode Islanders who have knowledge and skills that can now be utilized not only to propel them out of poverty and break these unjust structural barriers, but also to give our state a leading edge in the market. Skills, talents, and expertise that should not be wasted. This is another important step to repair the harm of past cannabis prohibition and improve our state's economy overall. In closing, this legislation needs to be considered as a jobs bill and all that is necessary to reduce the barriers to get people to work, particularly people who face decades of employment barriers due to these past cannabis-related convictions. Thank you.
Thank you, Cherie.